Yo, guys, what's good? What's good? Hope everybody's doing well. Yeah, man. Another game week passing by. Game week 2 Sunday action. Yeah, it's been a bit of a roller coaster for me. Uh, Picked up 39 points. Not too bad. I mean, not too bad, not great as well, but yeah, gets me sort of about 6 points or so above the average as it stands right now. This is Sunday action. There's still one big game coming up. Well, for my team at least, Arsenal versus Crystal Palace. And yeah, probably two reliable assets that I've got in that game. But the story of game week 2 for me is what's just been crazy for me. I brought in Daniel James, or sorry, Reece James for Diogo Dalot, and yeah, Diogo Dalot was a last minute transfer that I did because City was doing those crazy things. They were dropping Stones, they were dropping Ake, they were playing Lewis. It was a crazy one. Brought in James, never worked out. James got injured the day after, literally confirmed the day after I brought him in. Lesson to be learned, probably. Don't bring your transfers in too early. Maybe something I should be learning on, but anyway, happened. But I must say the team did well. Darwin Nunes. So, well, let's start on the back quickly. Steele, again, another single goal, costing me that clean sheet. And on top of that, he is my Stupinian replacement because I didn't think Stupinian is going to have any returns outside of clean sheets based on the preseason. That hasn't happened. So probably lost anywhere between 10 to 14 points on Stupinian alone in the last two game weeks compared to Steele. Romero. Well done, Romero. Has come in for me as a replacement for these James. I wasn't planning to play Romero. Obviously, we were playing against United. They were playing against United, against my team. So I didn't want to. I expected, us to hammer Spurs. We obviously haven't done that, and he's picked up a clean sheet. So take the good with the bad. Ben Chilwell just finished his game now. He looked positive still. Still reasons to bring him in. I mean, nobody expected the result now against West Ham. West Ham looked very good in that counter attack, and even times where they were racing the game, they took it to Chelsea. They wouldn't like sort of holding back on it. It was up and down game. Jackson looked dangerous as well. But yeah, Gentle one definitely someone you can still bring in. Happy I brought him in. Salibas to play. The United guys, look, they've got one good fixture coming up now against Wolves, and then they've got that fixture against Arsenal and Brighton. These two are the tough fixtures, I would say. And then from there, it's smooth sailing somewhat again. And I think the so Bruno Fernandes. Let's take a look at his ownership. I do have this tool that I've built. Um, Quite a few things to this tool now. Bruno Fernandes last 24 hours. There's no real movement here. People are not sort of panicking. Even if you take a closer zoom, people are kind of keeping Bruno Fernandes sort of flatlined in terms of his ownership. Um, Rashford is a different story. Though. I think Rashford was sitting on your 50 something percenters when we started in. He's dipped now from 47 all the way down to about 46 in the last 12 hours. It's a bit more than that. 47, you'll see, I think it's at 47.8 in the last 2 hours. So Rashford's coming down. So between the two players, in terms of risks for price drops, Rashford is probably the first one you got to mention. But I think a lot of people are still gonna keep on him. I think we've seen the most of the dips come out. There'll probably be a couple more percentage drops as time goes on. In terms of his total market movement, I mean, Rashford's in the top transfers out in the last 12 to 24 hours. Let's go to the fastest droppers. I think he's in there. So people are letting me go. We're second in the list now in the last 12 hours. So people are letting him go, but I mean, I think he'll hold on to his value. Um, for the I mean, they are playing against Forest. I don't think you'll see a mass exodus of Rashford unless he does like before that gaming starts. And so because of that, I think he'll keep his position. And same with Bruno. I think Bruno's also was in this list. Um, so we'll see how things go between with the two of them. But yeah, other than that, Foden did well. I mean, Foden was excellent that game. He's picked up. I think I was surprised if he picked up 3 bonus points. The amount of key passes this guy's done in that game. I mean, I watched that game on and off, and he was brilliant. I mean, there was it should have been at least 2 goals that Darwin should have scored with him assisting. And Mitoma had some returns. I know Mitoma's kind of handy owned, so it's not like that much of a differential. But there was a lot of guys who just didn't decide to go for Mitoma because of his somewhat underwhelming return in game week 1. But I'm happy I have him because a lot of the template managers template streamers were starting to take him out. And then, yeah, Ireland captain. I mean, he should have done better. But then the big disappointment is Darwin Nunes. And my plan was actually to take out Nunes, like depending on what happened that game and depending on what was going on during that game. He was going to be my transfer out to someone like Jackson. And I mean, I had to keep him in my team because of that Reece James knock. So unfortunate. But yeah, that's how it stands right now. Not overly worried, not overly like under, I'm not feeling too bad about it. I did manage to still prevent myself from getting a hit. And honestly, the hit I would have taken would have been Darwin Nunes for someone like Jackson. And I wouldn't have actually made any returns there in any case. So on to my next game week. So before I bring that up, so I'll bring my FPL team up quickly. And what my plans are with someone like him inside of my team. Now, looking at my team, I did bring in Desasi. Okay. I brought Desasi in. And this was even before the game week. This was just after the game week started and we managed to get our teams back. And the reason for that was because I was worried about the Reece James drop. Now, Reece James, he is still flagging, right? And look, he's total tip over for the loss. I mean, since he was injured, you could probably take that for 7 days. Reece James is in that top list for the 7 days. Let's take a look. It needs to load still. But Reece James is going to be in there. And his total outs in the last 24 hours just gets me slightly concerned. Just look at his ownership. I mean, massive. I mean, the whole percentage drop. I'm surprised it's actually that little. But in terms of his market movement, he's third highest almost with 651,000 net removals for the last 7 days. So he's due a price drop. And I thought that price drop would come in before after the first day. But yeah, luckily he held out a bit. Now I just want to go to my team. My team is updated manually. I've got to bring my players in here and then update them. But Reece James has still held his price. You can see Darwin Nunes in the last this is now within the last game week, has lost this. Rashford is on a very similar trajectory, but that number in terms of his total percentage owned, it's not that high. So I don't think he'll lose that points. But Darwin's been dropping since game week, after game week 1 already. Approaching game week 3. So yeah, this is top in the ocean. Well, this is tells you part of the story and still says a lot with him on 10%, 10.6% out. He has dropped and I decided to keep him there. It's pointless me taking him out now for it. So my game week 3 team looks like this. I've used that transfer on Disasi already. And I'm not sure how good that transfer is. I mean, Disasi, let's go back to the site. Disasi's got good fixtures coming up, but he's had a he's had a dodgy game now against West Ham. They play Luton at home, and I'm pretty sure that the team wants to respond. I just don't know if they'll go with three at the back. He's not going to drop Thiago. Thiago would have probably been the more safer pick, but Thiago's so old, man. You'd think that some point down the line, Poch would want to make a change. So the Sarsi was the guy I was thinking that I would like to go for. Augusta was an option as well. 4.0. Cole was an option, but I just felt like let me rather get someone solid. I don't have to worry about them again. And based on that first goal that he scored, I thought that's what we're going to stick with. So yeah, let's see. Axel Disasi is in. So looking at my game week 3, I'm actually quite happy with the team. I don't got any major red flags in the starting lineup that I really am worried about. In fact, my biggest question mark is actually on which goalkeeper do I start, because Steele has been steady, but Adiola has been picking up, if not bonus points or save points. He's been, he's been good. So I think the only decision I still have to make is going to be Steele and Adiola. But you know what? I got so much unluck in this game that I've been going with Steele for 2 game weeks. The moment I bring Adiola in, Adiola's going to start dropping form. So I'm going to make this call deadline day and see what happens. Um, but I swear, whichever one I go for, I'll get the short end of the stick, the string. My vice captain is supposed to be Saka. Don't know why it's not. Definitely gonna go with Ireland, and I think I'm set for game week 3. I mean, Romero has been bloody brilliant for me. So yeah, quite happy about that. Bench, yeah, Darwin. I'm gonna keep on the tip of it. I mean, Aston Villa just came off a 4-0 win. But I mean, like someone like Aston Villa, I mean, someone like these newly promoted teams are going to be tough to break down. He's at home, so might be worth going for him. Okay, so game week 4 plans. No, it's not plan ahead of it. But even game week 4 looks decent. I think everybody's going to have a similar problem like this, where they've got United and Arsenal assets facing one another. And the problem with this is that United, yeah, you can take one of these United players out. Guy who's on top of the list is either going to be Foden for people who don't have him, or it's going to be someone like Madison. I mean, I'm going to look at the other fixtures as well. Like Crystal Palace is a could be an option. He's got decent-ish fixtures from game week 4. City's fixtures get better, but I've already got Foden there, so that's a question mark, and a lot of people's going to be thinking about. And then maybe Newcastle assets is somebody you want to jump on, but probably not from game week 4 itself. Madison, you'll jump on for a stint, and I think he will do well. I mean, even against Arsenal and Liverpool, he might be able to return the way Spurs are playing. So there's a lot of options at that point in time. Personally, I think I'm going to keep one of the two United players. I mean, I don't even have a choice there because of the amount of free transfers I have. But my initial thoughts is to drop Rashford. It just looks shocking. Um, and look at bringing in, one of I mean, I might even look at Sterling. One of Sterling. One of um, Madison, and so forth. But yeah, I'm playing around. I'm playing around. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, Darwin's already lost points. He's playing Aston Villa here now. Who knows? Maybe something happens to Jota against Newcastle um, in game week 3 that allows me to keep Darwin. Darwin, what a mistake. Maybe something happens that allows me to keep Darwin. Who knows? Um, and then I can start to fiddle around with that midfield in game week 4 and 5. I'd love to get in someone like a Madison at this point, you know. And if Darwin is going to be a starter, Madison 4, Rashford. Or more of a long term pick, although game week 4 might be a bit early with Brighton. But, Brentford's also a tough fixture. Let's not deny that. Maybe I can roll Newcastle for 2 weeks. But Newcastle, I want to get someone in there as well. And it might even be in the up front line. So yeah, I've got options. I've got good options. I mean, I've got a good long term pick with the 2 Chelsea defenders. I can capitalize on Areola on that one fixture, and then still rotate between United and Bournemouth. So I've got good options. It's I think the only thing is, look, if Halden's the only guy in your team, he's the only choice you make. I mean, like with Salah coming in this time now, Salah was actually an option for people who had Salah, and he never. And I mean, he had some returns. I mean, he could have actually put probably a bit more away, but he actually gave returns, and I think that's the positive thing of having more options. With Haaland in your team and him being your only option, he's your premium player. You're just going to go for Haaland all the time. So you're not going to take big leaps above anyone else. And your leaps have got to be these, the rest of the squad. I've got to get my goalkeeper out. I've got to hope Disasi and Chilwell return. I've got to hope Romero does something. Saliba's in everyone's team, so there's no real standout there. What's Chilwell sitting on 23.6% now? Disasi's on 5.4, so that might be, what's the name for me? The rest of the guys are all packing. I mean, Foden's a bit of a differential. He'll probably not be the same case. And Mitoma, honestly, is not really a differential anymore. Mitoma might be the one that takes the brunt of it for that Watson player. But right now, I just can't. Yeah, he might be the guy that takes the fall. But I'll have to see what Darwin does. I mean, if Darwin comes on the fixture, it looks good. It looks good on paper. But yeah, Darwin is the suspect. So Mitoma comes out. Sonny Boy, I'm only got 1.5 in the bench, but I'm going to have to most likely bring in young James. Papa. Going to have to bring in James. I mean, Richard Leeson, I think is he also a midfielder? Richard Leeson, yeah. Interesting. But it might be something like this. Knowles bench. Can you believe it? Can't believe I'm going to bet against Rashford here. I mean, it might even be something like this if Rashford's form is completely out of the window. Anyway, guys, that's it. It's going to be exciting. Pixar, I'm actually, going through this, I'm actually not too stressed about things. Darwin's already dropped. I had to accept it. At least I've made catering for someone like Reece James. I've got to cross my fingers that the Disasi actually plays. There's now game 3. Feeling much more confident about Romero than Mitoma, to be fair. And the guys who's been off form has got an easy fixture to try and recover for themselves. My goalkeeper is going to be, like I said, my goalkeeper is going to be my biggest question mark as to what am I bringing. So, I mean, something like that's actually okay to have as your real concern point. So I feel good about it. I think I'll enjoy my game week and feel a little bit more stressed looking at it from the short to long term. Just gonna see how the game week develops now. And if we don't have any injuries, because if we do, well, even if we do, I've got options. I just gotta hope that the injuries aren't someone like Rashford, someone like a Bruno, who's already close to the tipping point of having a price drop. Otherwise, yeah, I may have to look at taking a hit, which I don't want to do. I want to try and avoid hits this game. This at least in this first 5 to 8 game weeks, like I don't see the point in it. So is what it is. I hope I cross my fingers for the differentials and we go from me. Shot guys, shot for watching. Cheers.